But they're going to poke me. I'm going to destroy them. We're in for a surprise.
13th of August, 2018. Chris Watts took the lives of his wife Shanann, daughters Bella, Cece, and unborn son Nico. Because Chris Watts wanted a new life with his mistress. For the Rzuceks family, here started hell on earth. Not only because their hearts were broken, but their grief paused because of greedy YouTube tragedy pimps that use and abuse victims online. For money and status, many witnessed the abuse of a grieving family for money by one particular channel. The Armchair Detective YouTube channel.
Armchair Detective. No hiding place.
This man was relentless in his search for status and money.
The reason I've called it that, because I'm a studier of metadata.
Now, we know that the Armchair Detective channel is no more.
We've been terminated.
Alan Vinnicombe did finally get terminated off YouTube in September 2023 for violating the terms of service, which was a very good day for the Rzuceks and for many others harassed by this narcissist. The fact that there were at least 3 petitions to remove the Armchair Detective off YouTube, one with over 900 comments disgusted with the abuse and scamming from Alan. He can't wipe his toxic behavior away. There is no hiding place for Alan's abuse of others. So, for those of you that don't know who the Armchair Detective is, let me fill you in. Alan Vinnicombe, AD as he liked to be called. This man was and still is a liar. He portrayed himself as a YouTube detective, a private investigator, a skilled data and CCTV expert, worked for the MI5.
I was an MI5 agent, special agent.
And studied with the FBI, learning body language. He lied. But what he is a fraud, a scammer and guilty of victimizing families for money. Alan tried to pull the wool over the eyes of the millions that watched him, but failed. Alan Vinnicombe has put pain on top of pain for families suffering from loss. He creates characters from real victims and uses them like puppets in his online detective fantasy stories. This tragedy pimp has built a business on death. In this video, there is evidence from those who witnessed and experienced Alan's abuse.
This guy's made his entire channel off the backs of the Rzuceks on a daily basis and make insinuations and make judgments on your family, on your deceased, lost family. You hear this person who's on a live stream right now, what they're saying about your sister, about her kids, and this is on a constant, all the time, getting thrown at you every second, all the time, 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 all the time. How can you justify trash talking these people, spreading rumors about them, sharing pictures that shouldn't be shared? What does it take for you people to let this family live their lives in peace once and for all?
Here, creators talk about witnessing the torment.
It's nothing but conspiracy, gossip, and false rumors. Stop the conspiracy, stop the false rumors. But you haven't, you've just carried on and on, you're just making it worse and worse and worse.
Just because some never saw the abuse, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Gaslighting makes you feel powerless. You doubt yourself and question your reality. The Rzuceks deserve validation, and those that didn't see, perhaps now will.
Heinous shit, like saying that her family is involved in it for money, and all kinds of terrible things about Shanann. She drugged her children, and she was abusive. Why go after a hurting, grieving, suffering family like that? Where you're going out of your way to create things that didn't exist, that didn't happen, that weren't true.
No question in my mind, the Armchair Detective exploited the Watts case. And yeah, I do think he also, the Armchair Detective, made a lot of things up. What happened with the Armchair Detective is he ended up also not liking the Rzuceks anymore, or liking Frankie Rzuceks.
You know, I used to watch his channel. Then the more I watched him, the more crazy, just crazy he makes himself out to be. And I'm pretty convinced now that he really does have something wrong with him.
This man is saying, please leave us alone. Stop. It's not your job to go live and speak about them every day. It's stop making the conspiracy theory videos, the shadows and all this bullshit. Stop it.
Alan Vinnicombe is not a well-educated man, but he's got a very advanced criminal mind of a criminal con artist mind. He knows how to be a con artist. His con artist life didn't start on YouTube, but he was conning people before, and he was well practiced at conning people before.
That what Armchair does, that's not true crime. Okay, true crime is about facts, it's about truth, it's about justice, but it's not about conspiracies, lies, and exploitation.
And the family is trying to heal, but yet 3 years continuing on, he has done nothing but torment the ever-living crap out of this family.
So I took this case so personal that
my heart, like I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. This poor family has been through so much.
No one should hurt and abuse people and get away with it. Many caring YouTube channels made videos in support of the Rzuceks family. People witnessed the exploitation of the Watts case and injustice to the family and exposed his lies. There is no hiding place for Alan's covert abuse. Please be aware of Alan's theatrics, the melodramatics Alan displays, his lies that look like truths, his abuse that is portrayed as victimhood, his fake empathy manipulated, so you interpret it as seeking justice. Please read between the lines of what Alan does and doesn't say, and you will see the truth. Alan, in all the years of doing the Watts case, has accused the Rzuceks family of abusing him, twisting the roles of victim and abuser.
So we don't know who's behind this hate campaign. Could it be a certain family?
That's the defamation.
I've been terrorised and vilified for 5 years. My family has been called in the middle of the night. I've had death threats.
I'm trying to get that family to leave me alone. Please stop abusing Alan Vinnicombe.
Name where he lives, say where he lives. Send things to his son's business, send things to his daughter.
Never made a video against anyone. Never accused anybody of anything. All harassed by this family of Shanann, who claim to be harassed by us. That's the joke. They claim to be harassed by us. Nothing to say about them. But they're affecting my reputation, shame, they hurt my feelings, they're embarrassing me and more. I have got over 1,000 screenshots of that family hating on me on 50 channels. I haven't been anywhere near them. I'm the one who's harassed. Don't they realise the case I've got against them? Have you not seen what they've written all over YouTube for the last 2 years about me? Have you not seen the tirades that Frankie's done online against me?
Have you not seen what they've written all over YouTube about me? Have you not seen the tirades, the abuse? No, Alan, no one saw it, because they didn't abuse him. But great choice of words with no evidence. Again, manipulating, trying to convince his subs, gaslight them into believing they've seen it. The fable, the Emperor's New Clothes, came to mind. Enablers not wanting to go against their leader. No one dared ask Alan to show the receipts. They didn't see any abuse from the Rzuceks, but others must have, so it must be true. So each person conformed. This only helped confirm Alan's lies and delusions. Incompetent enablers, easily fooled, helping validate his victimhood. He then lied to their gullible faces with no evidence needed.
Just because you don't like me talking about a case, you play him in my mind on a daily basis, depressing me on a daily basis. It's very isolating for me to wake up mornings, open my mail, and get a load of abuse. You feel isolated and alone and useless and wrong.
Some people didn't see the abuse of the Rzuceks. They were taken in by Alan's facade, his acting like a sad old man being harassed by a demented family as Alan led them all to believe. But Alan was the demented one, after being rejected by the family who did not need his fake detective work. Here's what really happened. Alan Vinnicombe, nucleus for the pain to the Rzuceks family.
The toxicity that surrounds this case, it's down to armchair, it's down to him alone.
We all know that the biggest perpetrator on YouTube is AD, and I think that he has killed the true crime community.
Because this is what true crime has become. It's become utter bullshit. I don't even want to be involved with creators like this. I want nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with even being associated with shitheads like this. You are a jackass. Who the fuck takes this guy seriously? It's crazy to me.
You know, he started on trying to get people to think that he was an MI5 agent, and he knows that he is bullshitting people basically. They don't want you to search for justice for their family. They're not interested. They don't want to know. They don't want your help. So why can't you just leave them alone? Why do you have to keep trying to jump on this gravy train that you're on?
Alan's manipulation has been witnessed by many over the years since he was a drunk man with a phone sitting in his bar.
Good night. Good night, boys. Good night, boys. Okay, cheerio, night, boys. Customers.
Live stream after live stream, he used and abused the Watts case for money, lied about the Rzuceks, about Shanann, Bella, and Cece, twisted the truth, faked footage, slandered and near destroyed the family for views. Alan would fake comments under his own videos with fake accounts, supporting himself. He would troll his own subs, scaring them into believing they would be attacked and hunted down by Frankie supporters.
Every single sub that supports me They go into their Facebook the next day and give them hell.
All fabricated to keep his subs in line, believing he was the victim, using scare tactics to turn his subs against those very people trying to protect them from his scams. But what Alan failed to grasp was that there are consequences for negative actions. What you put out, you get back. It's called reaping what you sow. And Alan couldn't accept. He was the cause of the trolling he got. Alan twisted Frankie's comments and called them abuse, when in fact it was only Frankie's freedom to speak out about what Alan was doing to his family. To protect his family from false rumors, Frank Rzuceks spoke to the news media outside Shanann's home in Colorado. Visibly upset, Frank asked social media to please stop the abuse and stick to the facts. Frank wanted to protect Shanann's memory and stop his grandchildren from being used for clickbait on these unregulated platforms.
Piled on top of pain and the grieving, hate speeches, and constant stream of ugly, evil, insults, and attacks. We have been subject to threats on our lives, all because we are victims in painful tragedy. This is so wrong. It is cruel, it is heartless, and it's flat wrong. It needs to stop. To the people who feel they are entitled to profit off our loss, we urge you, please stop.
You know, we can't grieve. They know who they are. Speak the truth. My daughter and my grandchildren were beautiful people. We get a lot of support from all over the world. I just wanted to be remembered how she was, a beautiful person. There's a few out there making some big money off it.
Alan didn't like being told what to do.
I am not going to stop. I don't care how many things they try to do to me. I'm going to stop. I don't care anymore.
So he twisted Frank's words from stop abusing his family to stop talking about the case.
I want zero tolerance with anybody telling me to drop the case. If you want me to drop the case, jog on, get out of my room, and stay out of my room.
That is not what Frank meant. That fake narrative spread and incited so much hate toward the family.
And yet I'm getting deflamed that Mr. Frank Rzuceks wants me to shut up.
You have one family threatening you to shut up. Either you shut up. It's like the hypocrisy is unbelievable. If you don't want people talking about the case, switch off and get off. Switch off and get off. Stop moaning about me. Well, we'll talk about the what's case till the cows come home. Don't think I'm going to stop talking about it, so I'll talk about it even more in Patreon now.
It's a sad state of affairs when the bereaved families run in YouTube, and they are. It's a sad state of affairs for everybody, including them.
Alan ignored this request. Narc rage kicked in, and he upped his game. Alan had no empathy for a father's pain of losing his daughter and grandchildren.
What are you doing, man? Yes, you've been hurt, but the victim card's over. Disgusting. I'm just an old guy, 66 years old in England, trying to run my business. You are affecting my business. A vindictive family coming after one man. Makes no sense, right? Until you think about money. You are the ones inserting your lives into my life and YouTube. You've now identified yourself as gangstalkers. You are causing me direct financial loss on a daily basis, and I can prove it.
Alan's entitlement was out of hand, using the Rzuceks murdered family members to make money for his YouTube business. Creating conspiracies, embellishing the death of Shanann for clicks, using the babies to gain views, monetization, super chats, and Patreon members. Yet Alan has the gall to tell Frankie to stay out of his business, not to get involved, and stop interfering.
I'm not inserting myself in their daughter's murder. They're inserting themselves in my life. I didn't think one family was allowed to run YouTube.
They have disrupted your livelihood into from making any appearances, going on any shows.
They've lost me 3 TV shows so far.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like there's no intelligence, is there?
The loss of appearing on TV shows is a lie. If Alan had any TV shows coming up, there would be boasting, self-promotion, and there would have been a video about it, and many people would have seen it. To accuse the Rzuceks of them losing him money and TV status is a bold-faced lie. To accuse the innocent family is astounding. If roles were reversed, how would Alan act if it was his daughter in Shanann's place? All the money Alan gained off the Watts case, he called it the gift that keeps on giving and pennies from heaven. How insensitive. He wasn't going to stop.
Get lost. Talk about what I want.
Frank had aimed his words at those with empathy, hoping people stopped the conspiracies. But tragedy pimps have no empathy. People asked Alan to leave the family alone. But he just didn't get it.
Oh, leave the family alone. We're not talking about the family. We're talking about Chris Watts, an absolute liar. I still get the post saying, why don't you leave the family alone? Well, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything.
And Alan continued. Free speech was far more important to Alan than respecting the wishes of a grieving father. Freedom of speech is where abuse hides, and Alan used that to his advantage. Alan believed free speech meant saying what you like and getting away with it. But it doesn't mean you can incite hate or defame others. The depths Alan went to smear Frankie was low. Fake death threats. From Alan to himself.
One troll tonight said, I'm waiting inside your house. And who's supporting them? A public figure, Junior. They're trying to get me killed.
Insinuating Frankie Jr. was behind them. Don't worry, Alan has been debunked and exposed on that one. It's out there. If there's no proof of abuse, Alan just faked it. Any troll comment Alan got, Frankie got the blame.
Armchair detective is unstable. I'm not mad, Junior. It's your supporter. There's his words. Not me being mad. Your frigging supporter, Junior. And your words, I should be in jail. And I've made a song about it. But you're too thick to understand the meanings. This is the LA come out. This is what they say. Look at this. This is the depth of their intellectual knowledge, right? What a lying sack of shit. Degenerate, gambling, alcoholic, sex trafficking pimp.
I get called all sorts. I don't do nothing. I don't ever say anything about the family. Nothing. And I have to face this on a daily basis. And because they're doing that, I get death threats. Am I so bad?
He couldn't accept responsibility.
I've got to protect myself. I've got to do what I do to protect myself. I've got to shut him up. I'm done with him. He has to shut up.
He reframed it to self-soothe his frail ego, saying it was because he knew too much. He's being watched by public figures.
I know too much.
He's in danger. This behavior is not normal. It's narcissistic. Alan couldn't admit to himself that hundreds, if not thousands, of people saw his manipulation, took offense, and spoke out against him.
You shut your mouth. Talk to your attorney. Talk to your bloody family. Don't talk to people on here about me.
And the Rzuceks, Nicole Atkinson and Anna Darko, were apparently involved, somehow in a cover-up.
The longer this cover-up goes on, the more people I find involved, which is not good for an Darko or Rourke or Shanann's family. That's why they all want rid of me. I know too much. They're scared stiff. I'm going to reveal the case that was obviously a cover-up, guys.
Alan defames in a clever, manipulative way. Alan implies, assumes, he alludes, he surmises, and insinuates. He hints, implicates, and speculates, and just says things in passing. People hear it and believe his words. This is how narcissists get away with invisible abuse, covert abuse in plain sight. Alan Vinnicombe's opinions come across as facts, and online believers run with it. I believe this, I believe that. Words manipulated by a narc are dangerous. Alan knew exactly what he was doing, and his subs enabled him. Alan tarnishes characters by sympathizing in the same sentence as he degrades. That's a very devious, underhand way of defaming. Sugarcoating abuse. This is how abusers abuse discreetly. He's crazy, but I feel sorry for him.
I can't tell you the damage they've done to me and my family. And I still haven't got a bad word for them.
Come on, I've always supported them. I still won't say anything bad about them. Well, I refuse to. I still wish them well.
The family are abusers, but I wish them no ill will. He's got a criminal past, but I would never say anything. You just did.
Armchair detective. Under siege. Here in my little town.
Never made a video against anyone. Never accused anybody of anything. All harassed by this family of Shanann, who claim to be harassed by us. That's the joke. They claim to be harassed by us. Nothing to say about them. Affecting my reputation, shame, they hurt my feelings, they're embarrassing me and more.
Slandering and virtue signaling in the same breath, defaming and being nice, all at the same time. It's pretty clever, you know. A clever narcissist tactic. Tell someone they're crazy with a concerned voice, and the world thinks Alan's a saint for being so concerned. Alan intentionally says two opposing things at the same time that don't actually match. A negative and a positive, cognitive dissonance in one sentence. Clever. They are horrid bad people, but I still won't say anything bad about them. Covert abuse, and Alan still comes up smelling of roses. People who have suffered at the hands of a narc, they know. Frank Sr. once left a comment on Alan's live stream. Alan blocked them, stating they were fake, obviously not wanting to accommodate them or give them a platform to tell their truth.
They come into my channel, ask them if they're real, prove themselves first. They don't. My moderators ban them because they were swearing and shouting. And it's the right thing to do. Disruption. But they tried to destroy me live.
Did Alan ever show proof of them swearing and shouting? No. Did Alan show proof of them trying to destroy him on his live? No. Again, if Alan had that proof, it would be shown. Alan slanders without proof. But I do remember this proof about who's going to destroy who.
If they're going to poke me, I'm going to destroy them.
My dad and I were just on AD's channel, and we got blocked.
You guys heard what Frankie Jr. said. Okay, he went on to a person's live stream, and him and his father both asked that content creator to stop doing what he's doing, and they were blocked.
One of the main reasons Alan turned on the Rzuceks was because Frank Sr. wouldn't reply to Alan's numerous emails he sent.
If there's any Rzuceks listening, email me. I'll tell you everything I know. Because you love Shanann. You love Shanann and those children, and I'm going to get justice. For you, Rzuceks, contact me, please. I'll tell you what I know. I'm right again, Mr. and Mrs. Rzucek. I'm right again. I want you to contact me. I know what happened. I've been asking for months for someone to contact me.
This was confirmed by one of Alan's channel ex-moderators. As she spoke about him and his abuse, Alan's interfering in the case wasn't needed.
And he feels entitled. And I tell you what, the stuff he does is because he can't stand Frankie. And you know why he can't stand Frankie? Because, hey, Frankie wouldn't talk to him. The family wouldn't talk to him.
Talk to me man to man. I ask you politely, again, Frank and Frank, talk to me.
I'll give anything for the Rzuceks to come on my side.
Alan Vinnicombe wanted status, to be the biggest Watts channel on YouTube covering the case, with Frank Sr. by his side, bringing in the views, money, and inside information. Being rejected by Frank Sr. angered Alan. Narc rage kicked in.
Wow. Junior, what are you going to do now, Junior? I'm doing it for you. I want justice for your daughter and your grandchildren, and I will get it. But I won't dedicate it to you. Nothing's too low for them. They've invaded my family. They've invaded every single guest we've ever been on here has been invaded and told not to speak to me. They will contact your job, your family. They will try to destroy any shred of humility towards me. They just won't have it. And it ain't going to stop. And we won't talk about them on YouTube. I'll never mention them again. So that's the point. And it issues all sorts of threats to me, which have been carried on by other people. I've had death threats because of this, all because a year ago or so, the family decided I had to go. And they built this army of hate, which proves the gangstalking. I'm being gangstalked on a terrible basis. Mountain trolls are telling me to shut up and leave the family alone, you're hurting them. Mr. R stood on the drive saying, I'm fed up with people talking about the case. Wow, this is about me. Then we have the son, Junior, saying we, you, I, me are evil souls and I need to go to prison. And threats I won't even mention from him.
Threats from Frankie that Alan would never mention. Funny that. Why would Alan never mention the threats? Again, listen. Think about it. If he had threats, Alan would show them. He didn't have any. I hope this video trains your ears to hear the manipulation, to see the abuse in plain sight.
I've never spoken against him or the parents. No thanks, of course.
And so the hate began. Alan goaded, provoked, and tormented them to get a reaction to use against them.
I want answers. I want answers. Then we can decide where to go with this, sir.
Hear Alan saying he's got texts from Frank Rzucek.
I have texts from Frank Rzucek.
But surprisingly, he's not showing them until later in the week.
I'll show you them later in the week.
That's a trick Alan pulled a lot, showing the proof at a later date. He gets the immediate reaction he needs, but of course, doesn't need proof. Alan knows that with the nature of YouTube's transient audience, he will get away with it. But oh dear, Frank actually commented underneath, busted. Frank has never texted Alan. Another lie and another lack of proof. Future faking again. Alan forgets people can fact check, rewind, record, debunk, and find the truth.
We're going to get him. He's going to get taken down, the Old Bailey in handcuffs, and never see the light of day again. Okay, I'm 68. I haven't got much left anyway.
bonkers.
What happens if you go into a zoo and you poke a bear? Are you surprised if you get scratched? I try to live and let live, but if they're going to poke me, I'm going to destroy them. That's the predator. That's a predator. That's what a predator does. Stay away from somebody that can damage you, right? They ain't got the sense to do that. They think I'm an easy touch today. No, I'm in for a surprise. I don't threaten people. I don't dox people.
The only thing he has in his life is to hate me. How's he going to stop? It's his big thing. It's the only thing he's ever done successful in his life. He lives at home with his mum and dad. He's pushing 40. Nothing will change for him until his parents change it. I don't think they can. I think they're probably scared of him. He's probably, we know he's self-medicated.
Things go bad with coke. Don't they? Coke, yeah? I know all about coke. And who takes it and who doesn't. Who wants it and who doesn't. And who should be on social media and who shouldn't. If you're sensitive, you should not be on social media. If you have a big problem psychologically, you should not be on social media.
Alan ridiculed the Rzuceks faith, mocking their belief system, the same system that has kept the family going through all their pain and grief.
And they hide behind God. Bless you, and this, that, and the other. They hide behind God. As all evil people do as well.
They consider them acting in God's name. They can consider themselves to be in control of God and who goes to heaven. That's what we're up against.
If they ask for their money back, they're called evil souls. You know that? If they ask for their money back, they're called evil souls and never go to heaven. Oh my God.
Absolutely appalling behavior. It's intentional baiting. Subscribers and channel creators reached out to the Rzuceks having seen the abuse and became friends, and some took advantage. Fake advocates attached themselves to the Rzuceks. The family trusted the wrong people, creators looking for status by latching onto the latest crime victim. There are no instructions on how to deal with this situation. These parasites gained supply through virtue signaling and pretended to care. But when they didn't get what they wanted from supporting the family, they turned on them and attacked, creating pictures of Frankie and his mom Sandy as Nazis, also creating videos of Frankie Rzucek as a street beggar, sharing revenge porn photos of Frankie, and bashing him and his family in 11-hour-long live streams. It was sick. Funny how all the fake advocates turned on the family in the end, after their ego wasn't fed. This community post showed what Alan really felt about Frankie. Supporting and getting justice for Shanann should not entail abusing and bullying her parents and brother. Frankie started a defamation case against Alan Vinnicombe, which many all over the world support.
The Rzuceks family are suing the armchair detective, Alan Vinnicombe. Wiggly dance for now, and the happy dancers are on their way. The fact that the court deems this to be a valid lawsuit is a victory in itself.
He started a crowdfund to help him with legal fees, which went straight to his lawyer. That again angered Alan.
We're done. Feeling sorry for you. It doesn't work anymore. You couldn't play that card forever. Do you honestly think the rest of your life you could just sit in social media raising money? I'm 66 years old in England. I'm classed as an old age pensioner. I'm being abused and harassed daily.
Again, the theatrics and drama started. Then came the pity parties.
I'm asking that family to stop it now, before it gets ridiculous. I'm asking you to stop it now. You're endangering my life. I'm holding you responsible now. It happens to me. I'm holding that certain young lad responsible. Not a game. I'm being accused of all sorts. It's not a game, is it, Junior? God, what have I done for their family? So I'm getting stick from Junior. All I've done for that family. You're going to get me killed. Don't say I haven't warned you. Don't say I haven't told you if anything happens to me. You're poisoning people's minds, and you're getting them to hate me to such a level that they won't know what they're doing, and they're quite likely to come around here and get rid of me. That's what you're doing.
Crying at what the nasty family was doing to him. Drama for views. Alan, for revenge, was going to countersue.
AD is pursuing the Rzuceks, and that's a fact. He does have a Fundly set up. He didn't ask for it. If you could, please donate to the Fundly.
Alan was going to waste their time, the court's time, waste their money, and cause them stress on purpose.
I suffer from depression and anxiety. That will cause you at least a year's delay just to get me to court. That will cost you 50,000 in letters just to get me to court.
Countersuing William Franklin Rzucek Jr. for harassment and anxiety and everything else that goes with it, with his gang of gangstalkers that I've got all monitored.
There we go, gangstalkers. Monitored.
Yeah. He was in their chats, all right. I've got it all. If you think I haven't got it all, I have.
You're jealous of me earning money. It's as simple as that. You take me to court, I dare you. I will raise 3 times the money that you raised, and I will bankrupt you in America. You have no case against me. I have a massive case about you. You've ruined my business. You've ruined my business. How much sales of my book? You think none of that's, you think, oh, that's okay because your daughter was murdered. Do you think that makes everything okay for the rest of your lives?
I want you in court so I can say you've got prison record. Because I can prove it. How would you like that to be known in public? Because that's what I want. You push me that far now, I want to go to court. And I want to tell them about your criminal record.
Go on about taking someone to court when you've got a record that Frankie's got. Have you seen what he's done? Everything you do, I will do twice back from now on. I protected over you while you were in prison. I protected you over that. I never tell anybody. But you're pushing me too far.
Shame that he actually comes after me, because I will expose him easily.
I don't want to speak to them. I've never mentioned one of them on here. I never will. I never will go on. You won't see me sat in any of their channels. Yeah, sorry, Mr. This, sorry, Mr. Yeah, you're right. I think I better change my way. No, you won't see me ever go anywhere near them because they have a narrative that can't be changed. They have a point of view which is to destroy me.
No amount of playing the victim, twisting the truth, and pleading innocent will get Alan anywhere. Many witnessed what the Rzuceks went through at the hands of Alan Vinnicombe. The abuse didn't stop, assassinating his character, even accusing him of scamming his crowd justice fund, and insinuating he was using the money for drugs. After accusing Frankie of defrauding his legal fund, Alan set up his own crowd justice fund for his legal fees.
I've started a fund. Of course, I'm never going to raise the money that Frankie did because I haven't got the card, have I? I haven't got the victim card. I want you to stop ruining my life. I'm not going to take a penny of it, ever, and I'll prove it. Unlike some people, I will show the accounts. And I will bring the receipts, you pathetic cretins.
He promised receipts to where the money went, but as usual, no one saw any receipts, and the funds closed down. Alan has set up many funds in the past. A Nicole Atkinson's cancer fund, a lupus fund, his Netflix movie fund. People in the comments can list any I've missed, but they disappear, never to be seen again. Alan even had the audacity to defame Frankie's solicitors Cohen Davis, online defamation lawyers. Yeah, good move, Alan. The abuse the family suffered was hard to watch. The lies being told would spread. Some people turned on the Rzuceks because of misinformation being spread by online trolls, hate channels, and Alan's lies. Many lacked morals, switched sides, and supported Alan Vinnicombe against the Rzuceks. Whatever past mistakes people make, no one deserves to be bullied or defamed for someone's cheap, nasty YouTube content. There are no instructions on how to deal with online attacks when grieving. Grieving alone is hard enough. The harassment by these so-called supporters, this online circus, was sad. They were pushed to the edge of sanity, trying to grieve and remember their family through their memories, not the memories created by online hate channels. Alan talked about the Rzuceks like some kind of organized family mafia mob that wants to silence Alan cause he knows too much.
This cover-up goes on, the more people I find involved, which is not good for Darko or Rourke or Shanann's family. That's why they all want rid of me. Our investigation's just too good.
He was too close to the truth. They were obviously involved in a cover-up, supporting Nicole Kessinger, the mistress. Seriously? The man was delusional. He needed a reason to why people wanted him shut down. So he created the reasons in his head to protect his inner ego. So he didn't have to admit to him or others he was the one in the wrong. Accusing Shanann's family of being involved in their daughter's murder, creating stories so Alan didn't have to face up to what he was doing. It's not me, it's them. Alan knew too much. Alan's lies were ridiculous. We weren't trolls or hate channels, but like-minded people that wanted to support victims of abuse. But some still believed him. His supporters couldn't see the manipulation. Alan was the perpetrator. Abuse comes in many different forms. A real victim of death threats, suffering with anxiety and scared to go out, would not be making it all into YouTube entertainment, taunting their apparent stalkers, videos with sad words and music, sad quotes of victimhood, to tug on the heartstrings of his audience.
I'm reaching out to anybody that knows the family is that anybody can put this boy under control. I say boy, but he's over 30. This amounts to more or less a death threat to me. Just read what he said. AD, I will get you. AD, I will get you. I implore the family to stop him before somebody gets seriously hurt. He is inciting violence against me on a grand scale. Someone might come here and kill me any day.
So first I'd like to add, AD, that was no death threat, and you know that. And the reason I say that is because you only read part of his comment, right? He says, I won't stop until my last breath. I will get AD put in prison for what they are. Now, can you tell me where that death threat was made, AD? In fact, there was no death threat at all. Was there? You want to make it look like there was a death threat for your audience. Don't you think that you've caused this family enough grief, enough pain and heartache? Why did you feel the need to come on YouTube and whine about this?
This is dramatization. This is not the behavior of a real victim, terrified and stressed. Victims don't act this way. People who have really been abused will know what I mean. Read between the lines, guys. Think about it. Think about what this man says. A real victim wouldn't make a song and dance about their pain. But a narcissist manipulating for sympathy definitely would. Remember, fake empathy and real empathy can look the same. Don't be fooled. His loyal subs didn't see this as abuse. They had been manipulated and groomed over time. But no one ever saw any proof of threats from the family. If Alan had proof, Alan would be showing it to the world. He did show a few comments with poo emojis.
These are what we call hate comments, directed at me and led by Junior. It's organised, it's a gang.
Yes, he was really sending poo emoji threats to his legal team. Again, nothing to do with Frankie. No one has attacked Alan or his family, with or without poo emojis. Alan was defaming, lying, and hurting the family with his gaslighting, twisting the narrative, pretending he was being harassed. All clever ways to abuse. Narcissists will always twist a narrative which makes them a victim or hero. And a lot of people saw through his lies. Everything he is saying is abuse against the Rzuceks. These are false accusations, which is deemed defamation. False claims of abuse, false claims of being gang-stalked by Frankie, defamation, false claims of death threats, all incited by Frankie. This is defamation.
You are the one that have mugshots, not me. And I never mention what you've done, and I never will.
If Alan's life was so bad, why stay on YouTube? Was his greed so bad he would put his family's life in danger? Or was he lying, manipulating, and defaming the Rzuceks? Alan then started a series called No Filter. This was sickening.
There's come a time now when we need to look at the case properly.
He totally pulled his mask off for this one.
Up till now, I've been filtering the truth to defend all these people. And they all turn around and spat at me. I'm not prepared to cover for them anymore. I don't want to protect them anymore. Not after what they've done to me.
Revenge for being ignored and not being appreciated.
I take no pleasure in telling you this. Why should I protect them? When they closed down my book, when they put a price on my head, raised £30,000 to come and get me, as a liar and a conspirator, when all along I've known the truth, and not once have I told anybody. Like I told you a week ago, I'm done. From now on, there's no filter.
Real people who advocate for real justice. They don't want anything in return except justice. Have you noticed it's all the fake advocates that have turned on the Rzuceks because they didn't receive the praise status and ego boost they expected? He turned on Shannon, accusing her of lying about lupus, not feeding Bella and Cece, over-medicating them, and mistreating them.
Where's the video of the children walking the dog? Exercise. Where's the video of them eating fruit? Or proper nutritious food? Who feeds a pizza? Thrive bars? Honestly, would you, as a grandmother, want your child doing? You'd come home at 4 and be in bed by 6:30. There were locks on the bedroom door. Really? The best way to lose weight is eat fewer calories and do more exercise. Shanann. What do we ever see her do other than sit down?
Alan would say, "You can't defame the dead." Again, Where's his respect? Why did he do this? Because Alan felt like they all spat at him, so he turned, using Shanann's own videos to rip her to shreds, taking beautiful memories of the children, jumping on a trampoline, and making it all about abuse, and accusing Shanann of being controlling, ruining lovely memories.
I don't want to bash Shanann, but was she over-controlling?
I don't want to bash Shanann, but I will.
And I find it shocking. What we see here is Bella.
Good girl. Good girl. She can't jump, baby. You want to sit down?
Now, strangely, what you've seen here is Bella not being allowed to jump on a trampoline. Whatever way you look at it, Shanann's in control of this. The same way, this is her, and she's controlling everything. What can I say? She is controlling.
Shannon's home videos have to do with anything. Most videos of no filter are now deleted, but I'm sure many in the comments saw these vile videos and will vouch for my words. But I'm sure that Frankie has all the footage recorded before it was removed. Alan distorted the lives of the innocent for revenge and views. Justice for Shanann. I'm here for Shanann. I will protect Shanann. Flip-flopping between acting empathic, then abusing, then gaslighting the world to believe he cared about Shanann while abusing her family.
Anybody know why I dislike Armchair Detective? Scam artists in the true crime community when it comes to getting money out of making up lies to exploit a case and bash a family. The despicable nature in human beings sometimes. I cannot believe I watched a chat turn into a lynch mob against a family. Shanann Watts' family was getting in the way of their entertainment because they don't really give a f about Shanann. They don't really give a fuck about that family by coming to this man's channel and sitting on his live every day. It's the selfishness of the world that we live in.
Is that what he set out to do? We all saw him. Shanann and her babies, used like puppets in conspiracies for YouTube content. Shanann was apparently dragged out the back and thrown over the fence into a truck and driven away, drugged with chloroform, and supposedly put in a safe house down the road.
This is our new fight. The safe house must be exposed because it proves Christopher Lee Watts did not act alone. This is a huge, huge breakthrough moment.
Alan, for shock value and clicks, talked about the girls walking the steps to their deaths and having oil in their lungs, insinuating they were alive in the tanks. Again, using Bella and Cece like puppets, creating horrendous stories, family, and make money. All for drama and money, and now I think it's all for some sick, sadistic kicks. Each episode created more outlandish conspiracies, all for content, clickbait, and more money. But Alan and his tribe carried on like vultures over the corpse of Shanann. His YouTube business was far more important than a grieving family.
I have a business, the Armchair Detective, with my own logo. That business has been ruined by the Rzuceks. They're taking me to court. They've ruined this business. They've destroyed my channels. The Rzuceks. They've gone real life. They're raising £25,000 to come and get me. But no matter, that doesn't matter, because it's a witch hunt. It's a vindictive, sly, nasty campaign to attack a man at 66 years old. It's scary. This organisation by Frankie to do this to me, but he can only string a sentence together without swearing.
Alan named himself the Shadow Man, after the shadows of the little girls he likes to say he saw under Chris's truck. He needed the achievement and praise, but it was of someone else's find, like some kind of superhero. He wrote a book called The Shadow Man. Pretty sick. This failed, and then, of course, blamed the Rzuceks, the shadow story. It's too long to go into detail, but the videos are out there. And again, it's about status and screwing someone over. Alan accused Frank of ruining his life, ruining his business, ruining his book, and interfering in the case, a case built on the death of Frank's family.
Have you, Frankie, got any sense? Pull the plug on this right now. You can save all this grief for your parents in North Carolina. You pull the plug on this right now, but I doubt you will. The Rzuceks had a fundraising plan to come and get me. And they put a price on my head, and I thought, why am I being so nice to them? Yeah. You don't even know how much evidence I've got on you. You're just a family from, I don't know, family from Carolina. Just go back to being a family. Get your hands out of this. and apologise to me.
Making an investigation into a corrupt police investigation, and they've inserted themselves in this. I've never known a family like insert themselves.
Fearing in whose life? The inciting of hate towards the family was hard to watch.
They prefer free speech to you, Mr. Rzuceks, controlling YouTube. You're destroying free speech, young man. I have an opinion that your sister had more than one person involved in their murder. I demand the right to say it. And I want you all to join Patreon, because we can plan from there to take them on. I'm not giving up. They don't know what they're taking on. I'm in England. They gotta come and get me. No one owns YouTube, especially you. No one. A victim card doesn't get you anywhere in life. I've lost members of my family. When I walk down the street, people don't look at me and go, oh look, there's Alan, he lost his mum. This sense of entitlement has got to stop. We're all victims in life. The harassment, slander, interference in my business, raising money to get me is wrong.
Hey guys, it's me.
This brings me to Alan's associations with Shanann bashers. A satire on Shanann as a zombie corpse.
Hey guys, it's me, Shazam.
Created by Lana Oriani, Molly Golightly mocking Shanann.
Oh my god. I better hold off until Chris gets home or else he's gonna kill me.
And Miss Mensa, a Shanann basher. Here is proof of Alan's disrespect for Shanann's memory, hypocrisy, lack of morals, and downright disgusting self-centeredness.
This woman, Lana, is the most disgusting piece of garbage I've ever come across. She pretends to be a dead Shanann Watts. That's right, a dead Shanann Watts, and laughs about it and makes fun of Shanann.
I'm back.
There's more things to life than money. Don't give them your channel. Don't have them on. Yeah, they will give you a large audience and numbers. I was sick watching this. I was sick making it. Shanann Rzuceks haters. Disgusting. Disgusting. I feel sick. Some of you are having this woman on your channel. Shame on you. I'm disgusted.
Oh yeah. So truth and transparency is coming on tonight. Lana.
And those are my
murder cases in America. I heard one the other day where this girl, right, she locked her boyfriend because he had an affair in a suitcase, right, and he's going, "Let me out, let me out."
These women collaborated with AD. Hypocrite. Alan has proved, time and time again, he has no morals or real empathy towards Shanann and her family. By his actions, cavorting and collaborating with these women who mocked Shanann, proving him as a pathetic, immoral fake. Miss Mensa saw the light in the end, after having her own toxic experience with Alan.
He talked with me. He would even discuss the case with me a little bit here and there. He was being helpful. I think that some of what the attackers have been saying might be true.
But I've noticed something about the armchair detective over the last couple of years, and it's brought me to the point where I'm beginning to think that he's actually part of his own attack scheme against him. What I'm saying, I think he is manipulative, I think he is dishonest, and I think he is harming people.
At one point, Alan even helped Chris Watts appeal for a 35C with the zombie woman.
We have been helping organise an appeal.
He comes across as a nice bloke, doesn't he? You know what I mean?
If what I'm hearing is true, then I've lost respect for him. If you are supporting Chris Watts and trying to appeal to get him out of prison to bump the old fucking channel up, then, mate, that is wrong.
We have helped him, as a team, I think I can say this, we have helped him put together an appeal in his case.
Where's Alan's undying support for Shanann?
Shanann, always have been. I'm working for Shanann. Always have been.
Alan was actually helping the very man who took her and her baby's lives so horrendously. Alan slandered and disrespected her family, accused her of abuse, and he wants justice for Shanann? This is certainly not justice for Shanann. When Alan's channel moderators saw the truth, they left his channel and spoke out, detailing what Alan did and how he abused, groomed, and manipulated people.
But it's not free speech when you're lying and when you're making up stories just for the money. Like, how entitled does someone have to be or feel that they can continue to talk about somebody's family and lie to make money on a daily basis? And once I realized the true depths of it, I was just it sent me spiraling. I was just a mess. A part of this thing that just sucks you in and it bleeds you dry.
And how they saw the hate Alan had for Frank. How many people need to speak out about Alan until people see the truth? Alan would also trick his subscribers into promises of breaking news. He created fake stories to sell on his page behind a paywall for more money. Clickbait people to pay for fake news on Patreon. The lower tiers were always somehow sold out, with only expensive ones left. A coincidence? Promising letters from Chris Watts that were fake. He was never in contact with Chris Watts. All to deceive and part people from their money. At one point, Frank and Frankie went live on Mommy Rambling's blog to expose a script going around these parasite channels. This script contained deceptive, made-up stories about the case, so these tragedy pimps who scam for money could defraud and con their subs. One being Alan, the armchair detective, obviously creating lies about being in contact with Chris Watts.
I've got a new Chris Watts email, a long one.
Where that comes from is, in other words, in a script. Chris is supposed to be speaking with people and giving this information out.
I've got a feeling Chris Watts is going to be contacting us very soon.
Alan had a feeling Chris Watts is going to contact him. Well, of course he was. It was written in the script. The script that was shared around the tragedy pimp channels. Alan's breaking news was faked. News storylines faked. Live updates faked. All scripted. No one was ever in touch with Chris Watts. It was all faked. For monetary gain. And Alan's subs lied too.
I'm now in direct contact with Chris Watts.
Chris supposedly telling them things about the case.
With insiders that are not real insiders and crap, okay?
Fake insiders, fake breaking news. These channels were using this script to create misinformation, lies, and fake stories about the case.
It's a money-making scheme, guys. They're not facts that they're discussing. This is all being made up.
You don't know what we go through, and you keep talking about it. And when the lawyers come knocking on your door, don't be surprised, because they're going to be cutting it. You don't have to make up all the stories. Let me tell you, sit back really, in that chair of yours, and ask yourself, how would you feel if that was your grandchild?
And your daughter.
And your daughter that was over there. I think about it every single day, and you people out there just keep talking about them. I know you're watching.
Again, upsetting the family, and creating rumors inciting hate, and making money off Frank's beautiful family.
I can tell you that Chris Watts has sent us an email as we're talking, and he's just emailed us again now. Yeah, so we have been talking to Chris Watts.
He comes across as a nice bloke, doesn't he? You know what I mean?
Even uses pictures of the oil tanks in his thumbnails, insinuating Bella walked up the steps, or was alive in the tank and had oil in her lungs, for clickbait.
In fact, I have my own theory. I'm not so sure that Bella wasn't alive when he put her in the tanks. I hope she was not.
Okay, well, seeing you've gone there, I might as well tell you what I know about that. I obviously studied this. There was oil found in the lungs. You're aware of that, aren't you?
That was just absolute torment for the family. Alan made thousands of dollars weekly on scamming. Most went on poker, but it never stopped him from begging for more. He couldn't feed his dog Winston, who was actually his son Luke's dog. Luke was just as bad as his dad. That acorn didn't fall far from that tree. Alan jumped on the Netflix documentary bandwagon. He reckoned he got a preview sent by Netflix, and made the most of it by selling it to his Patreons behind a paywall. This upset Shanann's friend, Nicole Atkinson, big time.
There are YouTubers out there that have said and are charging money so that you can get an exclusive with them, i.e. the armchair detective. Do not pay extra money to some stupid asshat that is trying to make money off of somebody else's family's tragedy yet again. This is exclusively with Netflix. He does not have access to it. Nobody does. Oh, there you go, armchair detective. Have a nice day.
People fell for it. They paid, sent him money, only for him to put it on the horses or play poker in Malta. No amount of lies, gaslighting, or rewriting history can change what the world saw, how the Rzuceks were treated, and how his subscribers were conned. Alan Vinnicombe's greed knew no bounds. Having created 3 channels, the armchair detective read the blue and the green channel, all monetized and all covering the Watts case, when Alan got terminated off YouTube for breaking rules. That was a good day. Greed created his channels, and greed took them down. Hopefully, this will be a turning point. and set a precedent for future channels exploiting victims for money, and for the Rzuceks who should never had to utter that man's name. Alan was the start of it all. Alan went real life, and Alan went personal about the Rzuceks. Alan baited Frankie, then used Frankie's reaction against him, then smeared the family. That is what's called reactive abuse. Alan deliberately manipulated this whole situation to make Frankie look guilty. Why? Because Alan got butt hurt. Frank needs to know there still are thousands behind him. Tragedy pimps don't care about the victims. They don't have a moral compass. And then you get the trolls feeding off the scraps, like vultures. Freedom of speech is not freedom to abuse. But Alan refused to take accountability for his actions, playing a victim of his own making, creating many new identities to escape his toxic behavior. Now, Alan is a TikToker.
Me having 100 channels tracking me down to get rid of me because they're so scared of my truth.
Rinse and repeat, pretending he's an investigator, and now ruining the memory of Liam Payne.
I'm the armchair detective. I specialise in things people don't see.
Doing the very same routine he did with the Watts case, Madeleine McCann, Gabby Petito, Nicola Bully, and many more. Lying about insiders, being in contact with police.
I have been in contact with the police over there, and they did act on what we've said. I'll probably do a video later tonight and prove that we were in contact with the ministry over there, so you know I'm not lying.
Oh, there it is again. I will show you the proof later. Saying you have proof is not proof. Deceiving people into believing he specializes in CCTV, body cam footage, and metadata.
I specialize in CCTV, body cam footage, and metadata.
It's all lies. All for blood money. He's a fantasist creating stories. He's lying again to a brand new audience. TikTokers know nothing of his past abuse on YouTube, and they believe every word he says. Vulnerable people should be aware of who the armchair detective really is. Alan's learned nothing from his time on YouTube, still using people's real life in his fantasy detective game. Alan can walk away when he's had enough. The Rzuceks will be left with this nightmare forever. You can't gaslight the world and abuse in front of millions, then play innocent. Abuse over a long time is not seen by everyone. That's how Alan succeeded. People saw different bits. This video does show Alan's exploitation, that what tragedy pimps put murder victims through. Still today, Alan Vinnicombe lives in his own fantasy world, one in which he finds the truth, solves crimes, cracks cases. He's a pretend detective, but plays and uses real people. Alan never cracked a case in his life, but saying he does, this makes him relevant. Interfering in the lives of the victims makes him feel important. He defamed the Rzuceks because he used their freedom of speech against them. Alan went on the rampage because they got in the way of his business. It had nothing to do with the truth or justice. He lied and deceived you all just to line his own pockets. It was about Alan not getting the fame he wanted, accusing others of things they never did, and Alan blamed everyone else for his failings. Someone who can make money from the death of children, create fake funds for victims, and keep the money, tamper with CCTV footage to condemn an innocent woman, ruin memories of a beautiful family, fake being FBI, support sex offenders, lie about being in contact with Chris Watts, threaten ex-moderators, use victims for money. The list goes on. For those having just watched Alan in this video, any loyalties that still remain strong, I pity you and who you are. He's not an investigator, he's a fantasist storyteller.
This is the biggest story I've ever had in my life.
So the real abuse, torment, and defamation from Alan got lost in the circus created around him. This video is just the tip of the iceberg. 6 years of harassment cannot be crammed into one video.
I've got the family slandering me and creating hate against me with the crazies and threatening to take me to court, and yet they're the ones putting my life in danger.
The research I've done is what's left. With all these facts of his deceitful, abusive behavior, why do people still believe it's not in his character? It's not his MO to lie. An innocent family was victimized and defamed. He used and abused Shanann and her babies.
He put one of the children in the fridge.
The Rzuceks stood up against him when he defamed the names of their beautiful family. And then Alan attacked and smeared them for it. What kind of evil monster does that? The moral of the story, well, that's easy. All those people that attack the family don't have morals. Those that think it's freedom of speech to incite hate and defame will one day be in for a shock. Society saw Alan's evil and society stood up for the good.
When a family directly asks you to stop doing things and you still carry forward, that's where I get a little upset, so.
And for his victims, it started with the sadness and loss of Shanann, Bella Cece, and unborn baby Nico. If I can create awareness about how people get fooled by someone they trust, manipulated by someone who creates false identities and understands the victim can be an abuser, faking it, and the real victim, lost in the depth of lies about them. Smear campaigns reverse the roles, and narcissism is the hardest thing to understand unless you've been there. They abuse in plain sight, secretly, discrediting the innocent. Hopefully you may now know what covert abuse is, and understand how Alan Vinnicombe, the armchair detective, defamed the Rzuceks family. Alan has never shown proof of the Rzuceks harassing him, attacking, defaming, stalking, ruining his business, destroying his life, stalking his family, gangstalking, paying people to attack him, and sending death threats. Alan has never shown anything because it never happened. It was all nothing but pathological lies. Any reaction Alan got was deserved. It was just that. A reaction from tormenting, defaming, and trying to destroy a grieving family. Alan inserted himself in the Rzuceks' life, in the case of their murdered family. He thought he could solve the Watts case. He acted superior to all other channels. His grandiosity and sense of self-importance took over. Alan exploited others without guilt or shame. Alan deserved what he got, then tried to rewrite history. When your history is recorded, that's pretty stupid. And now, I prove Alan's arrogance, his abuse of the Rzuceks, tormenting them, and falsely accusing them of abuse. That is defamation. The start of this was a beautiful family taken away by an evil man. I know this case will stay with me forever. Sleep well, Shanann, Bella, Cece, and baby Nico.